guys, I'm HybridFoxKid and welcome back to the Blocks SMP. Like the previous two episodes, I'm starting this episode outside of my base, and you can probably guess exactly where I am. I am in the remains of the ocean monument. So yes, as you can see, I've fully drained it and fully demolished it. It took a fair while, but we finally got it done, which means now I can actually build the Guardian farm, which honestly, it's been a long time coming. I really need to get this farm done. So yeah, today is just getting this functional and just getting it working and nothing else. We can call it a successful episode when that's done. So, I have a tutorial all set up and running because, as you know, I have no idea how to make this farm, and it pretty much says we need all of these materials and all of these materials. I'm surprised you actually just need that much. It's very, very small, so yeah, I think the main bulk of this farm is definitely the draining and the demolishing. So, you know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw us into a time lapse and get this farm started. At least the functional parts of the farm. So you know how I said this farm would be rather fast and the actual long part of this whole project is like the draining and the destroying of the ocean monument? That was a bit of a lie. Surprisingly, this farm has a lot of working components and I didn't expect it to take this long to build. It took about 2 hours in total. But then again, the tutorial was about 40 minutes long, so it's like, if the tutorial's long, of course the actual building process is going to be longer because you gotta stop, start, build a little bit, then stop it again, then start it again. It's just a whole process trying to follow a tutorial, but it's fun. I am notorious for watching a tutorial and then being like, yeah, I know what's going on. I don't know why we need this specific thing in the farm. I'm just gonna take it out and hope for the best. 30 minutes later, I start it, activate it, and then it's not giving me the desired results. And I'm like, what? What's going on? Why isn't it working? I wonder why. Because you've took out a really vital component. I do it every time and I've been trying to stop that in this season. So hopefully we'll have higher success rates with farms this time around. So with the time lapse done, that means the Guardian farm is officially finished and it's finally churning out Guardians and giving me resources that I need to continue my base. It doesn't look like it's too powerful now, but that's mainly because I'm down on the floor level. When I'm up there, they spawn like crazy. So we got a lot of drops in this farm and it's quite ridiculous. Over here we have the collection system that just separates our crystals from our shards and everything else gets thrown into lava. I can act like I built this all myself and act really smart and like, look at me, I know redstone. But no, immediately as soon as I had to build this, I called up Dipper and I'm like, please help, I have no idea what I'm doing. So after like 20 minutes, Dipper got it set up for me and I am quite pleased. So with the Guardian farm actually done, all I gotta do now is actually decorate this area here. But first thing first, I think I'm going to wait for it to stop raining because it's not very pleasant when it's raining. There we go, the rain stopped and now I can actually get on to decorating this area. So the very first thing I want to do today is take down these sand walls and create water walls like I've done over in my creeper farm. This is definitely the most stressful part of the build process because I'm scared that the water's going to overflow into my farm. So let's take this nice and slow, do one wall at a time, and hope it doesn't overflow. So yeah, let's just do the top layer and then break down the one wall and see if it all looks good. We can hope. So we're getting up to the end of the last part of the wall and everything seems safe. Okay, beautiful. So now all we gotta do is fill in these sections here and hope it doesn't flood. It looks like we may be safe. We'll just wait till they hit. Yes! Okay, we are safe. Let's fill in the other four corners and then get the rest of this sand down. That was scary. Even though I've done this before, it's still really scary when it's on a scale this big. So with all the sand taken out and the water walls all set up, I can now get to the fun part of this and actually start building and decorating all of this area down here. So this place is essentially going to look exactly like my creeper farm with a couple extra things added to it. So the first thing I'm going to do is these pillars where the monument used to stand. I think I'm going to raise them up as pillars once again and have them slowly breaking down. So if I go through my range of shulker boxes that I don't know what's in where, I want to grab a bunch of prismarine and prismarine bricks and just build them up a little bit. So we'll have like mainly bricks with some prismarine sprinkled in here and there to add a little bit of decay. I'm not too sure, I'm not the biggest fan of the plain prismarine because of the fluctuating color, but let's build up one and see how it looks. There we go, there's the mock-up of one of the pillars, and I've decided to add the prismarine walls in there, just to add a tiny little bit of depth compared to like the very flat surface. So I think that looks pretty cool. Time to duplicate that like 20 other times around here. It's gonna take a while, but we'll get there eventually. I don't know if I want to add anything else. so I might juggle with it just a little bit. So I got down to work and I actually built up the rest of the pillars that were surrounding the perimeter, and it's actually made this place feel a lot better. And I still got to reiterate, these prismarine do look really nice. I just hate the fact that it changes color. It looks good for like 5 seconds and then it doesn't look good for like another 20 seconds. Then it looks good for another 5 seconds. I absolutely dislike it. But you know what? I've got to deal with it. I'm going to have to deal with it. See, it looks good there. But then it doesn't. So you know what? I'm just going to stop complaining about that now before that becomes the entire episode. So moving on with the build of the Guardian Farm, I need to now deal with this whole situation. So my first idea was to actually fully encase it and completely hide it away. But the problem is I would have had to make the perimeter a lot wider by like 20 blocks on each side. And that's a lot of work for just a little bit of decoration for a farm. So what I think I might do is I might just kind of encase it like these pillars and just encase it a little bit like this and just stretch it out a little bit more and like make it come down, and then go into like some kind of spires up on the top. Not too sure, hopefully it's going to look good, but the only problem is I'm going to have to get rid of my portal because it's going to be in the way of the spires. So yeah, let's take down our mode of fast travel, and now we're going to have to fly all the way to this place. So I'm not really the best at talking when it comes to actually doing some building stuff, so I'm going to take this down, decorate it, and we'll see what it looks like in just a bit. There we go, that's the idea I have for the Guardian Farm. The only thing I would have wanted to do different is have these little parts here also come from the roof as well. So it looks like it's slowly breaking apart over time, and like all the areas that are exposed to the water are the parts that are actually falling apart first. The only problem with that is with how this farm is built, there's actually a layer of string that's surrounding the entire top base. And I don't know if getting rid of it will cause any decrease in spawn rate. So I've gone by the rule of listen to what the tutorial says and follow it to a T and you have no problems. So yeah, I think I have to just stick with the roof sitting like that and just have that all be bland. My only thing I might change is changing out the white for the actual prismarine itself, because when I was just planning it out, I didn't like the prismarine at first, but I felt like there was going to be too much prismarine in this area. But I think I might have to change it. Either that or dark prismarine. But you know what? I've been faffing on about this area enough. I want to actually get the surrounding decorations done for now. And then I'll go back to that a little bit later on in the episode. And we'll see how it looks. So for now, I want to deal with this little part just here, which is our entrance to our actual collection system. And pretty much with this area, it's going to be exactly the same as my creeper farm. It's just going to be a cute little fountain with like some quartz blocks and some dark prismarine as well. So this is really going to be a test to my knowledge of my own buildings. So I know it's something like that, and then is it like 2 high or is it 3 high? It's probably 3 high. I usually go by 3s. And there we go, that's the rest of it. Honestly, I don't know if this affects my elevator, but let's hope it doesn't. Yep. Nah, we're fine. Okay, so we've got the cute little monument area set up for the entrance of the actual farm itself. I think I had this mostly one-to-one with the creeper farm. Let's go see if I got it right. Okay, so it's just time to fly this direction for a while. I am really missing the nether portal now. Well, it's been a while since I've been back here, hasn't it? Trust me, next episode we'll be working on this, definitely. I've been away for far too long. Okay, how well did I do? I did well, except it was too high. You know what? I like it being 3 high in the other one. I'm gonna keep it like that. Okay, time to fly back. Okay, 500 rockets later, and I'm finally back at the Guardian Farm. And what I think I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna go around and add foliage to this place. So it's gonna be a bunch of trees, pathways, rocks, grass, pretty much everything else under the sun, and just spice this place up with a little bit of life. So yeah, I can start crossing this place off my list, finally. I'm gonna do that, and we'll be back in a second. I have no idea how this place doubles as a bat spawner as well. This place is filled with so many bats that I have no idea why. You know what, they're welcome here. As long as they're not causing any trouble, I'm perfectly fine with them. But as you can see, I got all the decoration done in this area, and yeah, it's looking pretty complete now. And I also edited the walls here and made them look a little bit better and made it blend in just a tiny bit more. Honestly, that's probably the best I can do because there's no really getting around that string as well as trying to decorate around this kind of mess. So you know what, I'm quite proud of it because yeah, it looks functional, it looks pretty okay. But the next thing we're going to be working on today is this area down here. So I've done all the side walls going all the way down to the collection system. And now we just got to decorate this area. And as you can see, I've got most of the structure set up of how I want it to look. I just got to actually make it look pretty. So I think I'm going to be using more dark prismarine and a whole bunch of glass as well. So Yeah, let's see how this one's gonna look. So, I've been working on the collection area, and I think I finally have it to a point where I actually like the design, so let's have a nosy at it. This is what we have. We have a lot of prismarine, a lot of bricks, and a lot of dark prismarine, but it looks rather nice and not too busy. It is a little bit busy, but not a massive amount. So yeah, I think I actually like how this is designed. I do like the prismarine a lot, but yeah, still, don't get me started on this. It looks good for now, but give it 5 seconds. You know what, I'm not gonna harp on for that for too long. And yeah, we have a lot of storage for all these resources because, honestly, this farm is way too good for its own good, and yeah, soon I'm going to be absolutely swarmed in prismarine. Luckily, this isn't in a loaded chunk, so I don't massively have to worry about it overflowing too much. And I have a little kill chamber right there just so I can see them splat. Is that weird? I don't know if it is. Doesn't matter, we're continuing on. So pretty much the very last thing I need to do with this farm is actually set up a nether portal, because it's not massively far away from my base, but far away enough to actually require a nether portal. So as I said before, I'm essentially designing this the exact same as the creeper farm. So I'm gonna add a ring around here, decorate it all like the creeper farm. So it's essentially the exact same design, nothing special or new, but maybe only one ring. Because yeah, 2 rings is gonna be a little bit too much, and it's gonna be a lot of quartz. Especially since I don't have my villagers set up yet, it's going to be a lot of work. And I might add the portal area just for the nether portal as well. It's gonna be a little off-cut section, so it's nothing too extravagant. So yeah, I'm gonna get onto that, and we'll show what it looks like when it's done, and this area is completely finished. This farm has been a long time in the works, and I can finally say the entire thing is done. The functional farm itself, as well as the decorations around it. And I am so happy that this farm is finally finished, because I can finally move back onto my base with all the resources I'm actually getting from this place. So yeah, this is the end result of what the Guardian farm is going to look like. I think maybe later on down the line, when I actually have a villager set up for more quartz, I might try and make a second ring, purely so it'll match the other farm that I have in my actual base area. But that's definitely for a later down the line kind of project, but for now, I just want to get away from this place because I have spent way too long here. So yeah, let's head over to my base, and let's do a little bit of work over there just for the end of the episode. And I am finally back. I've been gone for 3 whole episodes, and it truly feels like it. This doesn't even feel like my base anymore. But what I plan to do is a whole bunch of progress and pretty much just lay out the foundation of what the next couple episodes is going to entail. So with this base, I kind of built it in the wrong orientation. So I built it with the entrance coming in from this way. The problem is just over here is a massive bunch of land, and if we continue a little bit further down, there is even more land. What I should have done is had the entrance go this way. So what I want to do now is try and just make it that my base will continue to go in this direction in the future, instead of looking like it's supposed to be going further back that way. So I think from about this part of my base all the way to like over here, I'm just going to lay down the foundation and the outlines of future buildings, and yeah, have a massive time lapse, and yeah, plan out some things, have a good time, and see how much I can build with the gathered resources I have, because I've done a lot of farming, so hopefully I have enough to do a little bit of outlining. So yeah, we'll wait and see. I'll throw us into a massive time lapse, and we'll see how much I can get done. And here we are with the absolute ginormous time lapse, which is the outlining of the first part of my base. I did not expect it to take this long. I did not expect it to have that many resources. I had like 6 shulk boxes. I think I ended up needing like 12 or 13. I highly underestimated how much I needed for this actual build. But the interesting thing about this build, and I purposely chose an ocean base for this specific reason. So with my previous 2 bases, I pretty much had a plan going into both of them. So with Glacius, I already had a land to build with. I had an environment all set up, and all I needed to do was touch it up and make it look pretty. And then with Honeycomb Ridge, I had a massive mountain, and all my plan was cut a big hole in it, chuck some buildings in there, and make it look pretty. And with this base, I have absolutely nothing. I have just plain ocean. So it's like, I really want to see where my skills can go when I have a completely blank canvas and just a couple ideas floating around here and there. So that was pretty much the main reason why I wanted to do an ocean base, just to see how far I can go. But the thing with that, I have to do a lot of planning. So what I actually did is I went into a creative version of this world. I flew all the way up to the top so I could see like a massive bird's eye view of my entire area. Then I just threw it into a paint program and just drew out what I wanted. It was very messy, very sketchy, and it came very close to being nearly 1-to-1. I think from my sketch version to this actual outline here, it ended up being slightly shorter in like the actual Minecraft world than it was in the actual drawing. So yeah, that's one way to plan around like having nothing to work with. That's a good idea. So the time lapse is done, and this is the area I get to work with in the next couple episodes. And I gotta say, it took a while to make. I didn't realize I needed such a large amount of diorite. I started off with 2 shulker boxes, and I think I needed about 6 more to finish off the entire project because I did not realize how big this was until I started building it. It was a bit ridiculous. But now, with all of these built up, I can actually get started on my base because this place has been neglected for way too long. And as you probably noticed during the time lapse, there was a skip between having like just a diorite done to having all the coral placed down and the outline for the buildings. Yeah, I kind of ran out of memory space and the entire thing corrupted. So yeah, I saved what I could, but sadly, like the most important part of the time lapse kind of got corrupted and disappeared. But that's beside the point. We can look at it now, and it's something, I'll say that much. And I will say right now, these silhouettes are all for buildings, yes, but they're not the only buildings in my area. I do plan to chuck in more, but these are like the ones with a purpose, ones with a meaning. The later ones that will be placed down will be ones as a later thought and just there for pure decoration reasons. So essentially, I'm going to be stuck here for a good couple of days working on all these buildings and slowly getting this place actually looking like a functional city because one building just does not cut it. But I think I might have to leave that for the next episode because this episode has ran on long enough and I've got enough progress done. So yeah, next episode we're going to be starting our first building, and it might be the one all the way over here in the corner because this one here is going to be my main base of operation. Essentially, technically my second starter base because yeah, I finally need to set up a starter base and get my storage system set up because I'm starting to struggle with that little one all the way over there. But yes, I think with that, I'm going to leave this episode here. If you guys like the video, give the video a thumbs up and maybe subscribe if you want to stick around. Or good, I'll see you guys next time. See ya!